with 4 staff resignations in less than 1 year. It's pretty easy to speculate Meghan Markle must be some kind of horrible boss. Whispers of the Duchess of Sussex's difficult nature began circulating in November when her personal assistant Melissa Abdi was rumored to have quit 6 months into the job. Just weeks later, Prince Harry and Meghan's shared private secretary and top aide, Samantha Cohen, reportedly resigned after 17 years working for the royal family. It's worth noting her time with the newlyweds was only a temporary assignment. In January, Meghan's bodyguard of 6 months jumped ship, making her the 3rd close employee to leave the Duchess of Sussex's employment in a little over 2 months. The most recent departure was reportedly a serious blow to the former Suits star. Her right-hand woman Amy Pickerel, a near-permanent fixture by her side, is said to have handed in her notice last week and will finish up as secretary later this month. Certainly, the numbers don't look great, but working for the royal family isn't the same as any other job, and that's why we shouldn't be so quick to assume the worst about Harry and Meghan. According to Dickie Arbiter, who served as the Queen's press secretary for 12 years and a media manager for Prince Charles and Princess Diana, the intensity of the work inside the royal bubble makes it easy to burn out. I was one of the Queen's press secretaries with the remit. In addition to answering to her, 90% of my time was spent looking after the Prince of Wales and Diana, he explained to Global News. I'd been on the job with them for 5 years. Any longer and I would have been burnt out. Mr. Arbiter added there was another good reason for why it appeared so many staff members were leaving at once. By outward appearances, it has been a bit of a revolving door, but it just so happens with the Cambridge and Sussex households, that employees started around the same time, he said, suggesting that could explain the coincidental timing of the resignations. Here's an example. Harry's private secretary Edward Lane Fox retired last April after 5 years as the Duke of Sussex's right-hand man. Just months earlier, William's private secretary, Miguel Head, quit after 6 years in his role. And while much has been made of Meghan's apparent inability to hold on to staff, her sister-in-law has also received a few resignation letters in her time. In 2017, Kate's private secretary, Rebecca Deakin, quit after a decade working with the royal family, and according to a 2016 documentary, 2 of Kate and William's staff quit shortly after their wedding. Royal expert Ashley Pearson claimed in William and Kate, the journey the Cambridge's head housekeeper and head gardener both left their positions when Kate joined the family, as they couldn't handle how much she wanted to do for herself. So there it is. Maybe Harry and Meghan are tough bosses, or maybe staff shakeups in the royal household are actually pretty normal. Heavily pregnant Meghan Markle and husband Prince Harry have arrived at Westminster Abbey for the Commonwealth Day service. The couple were the first royals to arrive, having previously been at another royal engagement earlier today. They were snap beaming, walking hand in hand into the Abbey. Meghan, 37, had changed out of her earlier outfit, a custom green wool-embellished coat and matching dress, into a Victoria Beckham dress. She matched it with the chic hat and green suede heels. Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived at Westminster Abbey moments later for the Commonwealth event, to celebrate its 53 countries and 2.4 billion people. Meghan and Kate kissed each other on both cheeks and their brothers-in-law, just as the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall arrived. Kate, 37, was pictured in a knee-length button-down coat, beige heels and a Gina Foster pillbox hat. Meghan's Victoria Beckham outfit, a chic cream number, is believed to retail at more than £1,200. The dress features prints of lock chains. The Queen has also arrived at the service. She complemented her purple outfit with a silver jeweled brooch. In other pictures, Prime Minister Theresa May could be seen arriving at the Abbey, wearing a feathered hat and a brightly colored necklace. She smiled and held on to her hat as she walked towards the Abbey. The Queen today praised how the Commonwealth inspires its member states to find ways of protecting the planet and its citizens. In a written message, the monarch said, "In April last year, I welcomed the leaders of our 53 nations to Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, and we all witnessed how the Commonwealth vision offers hope, and inspires us to find ways of protecting our planet and our people. We are able to look to the future with greater confidence and optimism as a result of the links that we share, and thanks to the networks of cooperation and mutual support to which we contribute, and on which we draw. With enduring commitment through times of great change, successive generations have demonstrated that whilst the goodwill for which the Commonwealth is renowned may be intangible, its impact is very real. Earlier today, Meghan and Harry had visited Canada's High Commission in London, where they got an insight into Canadian culture. In a stark contrast, Meghan wore a custom green wool-embellished coat and matching dress by Canadian and Turkish fashion designer Erdem for this function. She teamed it with towering black Aquazurdinov bow heels, which she has worn on a number of occasions and cost around £570, a £1,530 black satin Givenchy clutch, and yellow gold and opal earrings. The couple watched youngsters, whose parents work at the Commission, making and eating Canada's quintessential sugary treat, maple taffy. Maple syrup was poured onto crushed ice and, as it hardened, the children rolled it onto a stick and quickly devoured the delicacy traditionally served at this time of year from sugar shacks in the woods. After watching the youngsters and listening as Harry asked how many of these are you allowed, the Duchess tried making one for herself. She then gave it to 9-year-old Elodie Rose Joie and egg bees. The schoolgirl said about being given Meghan's taffy, "I was so excited." She said, "Does anyone want one?" And she said to me, "Would you like it?" Then, she handed it to me. It was really fun meeting Meghan, and she's really pretty and was really friendly. The Duchess has an affinity with Canada, having spent 7 years working in the country, mostly based in Toronto. When filming the hit series Suits, Harry and Meghan were invited to Canada House to meet the cream of Canadian talent in the UK, from tech entrepreneurs and artists to business people and fashion designers. Canada's High Commissioner to the UK Janice Charette said, "We kind of claim them a little bit as Canadians for 2 reasons. One, of course, because of the Duchess' long-time association. She's worked in Canada both in Toronto and Vancouver. But as well, one of their first outings as a couple was actually at the Invictus Games in Toronto, so we like to think of them as having come home here to Canada House." She added that it was significant hosting the royal visit in the 70th anniversary year of the formation of the modern Commonwealth. The High Commissioner said, "For me, the chance to have them here and focus on Canadian youth, with the Duke, the youth ambassador of the Commonwealth, and the Duchess, who has responsibilities with the Commonwealth Trust most newly. This is about the future of the Commonwealth, talking to the young people." Before leaving, the couple were given clothes for their baby. Meghan said Hudson's Bay goodies when the gift box was opened, and she recognized the tiny striped hat and mittens. Harry, meanwhile, made a crowd of High Commission staff laugh when he picked up a tiny pair of Manitoba moccasins, and sniffed them to see if they were real leather. The final present was an organic cotton Canadian maple leaf decorated baby bodysuit. Prince Harry seemed to really enjoy this year's Commonwealth Day service, and it looked like he particularly got into Clean Bandit's performance. The dad-to-be joined the rest of the royal family, including wife Meghan Markle and grandmother the Queen, at Westminster Abbey for the celebration. Pop group Clean Bandit performed their hit track Symphony at the event, and it went down really well with the invited guests. Harry was spotted nodding along to the song, until it appears someone caught him and he started to giggle. Pregnant Meghan then turns around to look at what he's laughing at, and the couple share a sweet moment. Earlier in the afternoon, the Duchess greeted her sister-in-law Kate with 2 kisses on the cheek as they arrived at the event. Meghan wore a cream Victoria Beckham dress featuring a locks and chain pattern, teamed with a chic hat and green suede heels. Kate opted for a bright red knee-length button-down coat, beige heels and a Gina Foster hat. It was Meghan and Prince Harry's second Commonwealth event of the day, having spent the morning at Canada's High Commission in London. Meghan wore a custom green wool-embellished coat and matching dress by Canadian and Turkish fashion designer Erdem for the earlier event. The couple watched youngsters, whose parents work at the Commission, making and eating Canada's quintessential sugary treat, maple taffy. After watching the youngsters and listening as Harry asked how many of these are you allowed, The Duchess tried making one for herself. She then gave it to 9-year-old Elodie Rose Jugua in Agbees. The schoolgirl said about being given Meghan's taffy, "I was so excited." She said, "Does anyone want one?" And she said to me, "Would you like it?" Then, she handed it to me. It was really fun meeting Meghan, and she's really pretty and was really friendly. The Duchess has an affinity with Canada, having spent 7 years working in the country, mostly based in Toronto, when filming the hit series Suits.